Welcome to the third episode of the Join Us at the Bar podcast.
We're here for you.
I'm Haley Bowman and this is Lisa Hanson. We are your co-hosts for the Join Us at the Bar podcast, and we're also part of the communications team at the Iowa State Bar Association.
We would love it if you would join us by subscribing for lighthearted conversation. We are covering topics impacting the law and the profession, and we're coming to you every other month. The Iowa State Bar Association's mission is to support ISBA members, both our lawyers and our judges, in their service to clients, the community, and the entire judicial system. Here in the communications department, our goal is to advocate for attorneys and elevate the legal profession amongst the public.
If you enjoyed the previous episodes, please hit that subscribe button and help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers.
And if you were unfortunate and missed our previous episodes, here's what you can expect. Each episode will have a legal theme, a leadership development takeaway,
Wait, what?
This episode's shocking statistic, and a case study.
Now, a quick disclosure, we are not attorneys.
Not attorneys.
We work with attorneys and judges all day, every day, but please don't misconstrue this as legal advice. We are not attorneys.
We are not. We also would like to give a quick shout out. We thrive for your feedback. We love hearing from our listeners and or watchers. And so the last episode, we got some great feedback from one of our ISBA past presidents, Jerry Schnurr from Fort Dodge. Jerry, thank you. Your email just warmed our hearts. It was so kind. We also heard from ISBA member David Albrecht. He is a practicing attorney in Johnston. I would also like to give a shout out to Heather Prendergast. She practices in Waterloo, and we got to spend last week with her at the ISBA annual meeting. She was gracious enough to share that she too enjoyed the podcast. So Heather, Jerry, and David, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate your feedback. You might remember, if you did tune in last time, that we had a Join Us at the Bar logo contest.
Yes, we did.
You might notice our new logo up on the screen. We want to announce our winner, Bryn Hegg. Bryn is the daughter of Iowa State Bar Association Computer Services Director Brian Hegg. And thank you so much, Bryn. We love our new logo.
Yes, we do, Bryn. I'm going to embarrass you a little bit. I've only known you since you were like 2 years old. And thank you for participating. Thank you for your hard work in this. And we want to extend our best wishes as you head off to Iowa State this fall. Enjoy the next chapter of your life. Thank you for this gorgeous logo.
Yes, we'll be sending some swag your way.
Okay, so I am going to go ahead now and set the agenda for this episode. So the theme for this episode, if I may, drum roll, knowing your rights in a traffic stop. Whether you are the driver of the vehicle, a passenger in the vehicle, an attorney representing the driver or the passenger, or perhaps you are a member of law enforcement, or you're going to be an attorney representing a member of law enforcement that has potentially made this stop. We just want everyone to be informed as to how to behave and what your rights might be in that situation.
And like Lisa said earlier, as always, there will be a leadership development takeaway that you can implement right away, our wait what moment or shocking statistic, and then finally, we do have a little bit different take on our case study this episode. So we're gonna dive in to a legislative bill that was seen in the Iowa legislative session this past year in 2023. However, it was not enacted, but it did have to do with the use of electronic devices while driving.
If you have an idea for any future topics that you would like to see and or hear us discuss, please let us know. Reach out to us. You can always get a hold of us through our email address, which is communications@iowabar.org. We are looking to expand things that will be helpful and practical to not only attorneys, primarily attorneys, but also other members of the public, things you would like to share with your neighbors. So just looking for topics that would reach out and help everyone.
So for this episode's leadership development takeaway,
what are we doing this
it kind of ties nicely into our theme of know your rights at a traffic stop. This leadership development takeaway is a reminder for us to take a breather and pause. So practice the pause is actually a famous life quote attributed to American author Lori Duchesne. It means deliberately pause from whatever you're doing or feeling. By practicing the pause, you can take a break, rest, or pause before you react, speak, or take action. It's really a temporary state of halt or cessation in speech and action.
This is so helpful. I have a tendency to do the opposite of that. Sometimes I'm not the most patient, and sometimes I do need to just stop, take a breath, and pause. And I feel like this is useful whether it's interacting with your clients or your colleagues, whether you're a consumer that's out and maybe someone else is having a hard day and you're impatient. Just take a moment. It could be whether you're in court and opposing counsel is maybe acting up a bit and you're getting upset. Just take a moment, breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, just temper your reaction, and when in doubt, pause. It could be whether it's an angry pause or maybe you're just tired or you're stressed. Just take a moment and you can hit that reset button, pause, proceed.
That is wonderful, Lisa. Thank you. And even in your personal life, whether you're dealing with your children or your spouse, friends, or family members, it's always good to remember to practice the pause, take a deep breath. One quick tool would be to count down in your head from 10.
Yeah, I like that.
Give yourself some time to process, and maybe ask yourself, how do I want to show up right now in this moment? Or maybe you're asking yourself, what is triggering me right now that's making me upset? It's really important to practice the pause because it will help develop a deeper meaning in your interactions, help you be purposeful. Maybe it'll help you recharge your energy or increase your understanding of a situation. And also, it can be helpful to avoid that everyday rush, that we've all got a list of items that we need to check off each day, so you might be feeling a little rushed, but don't be afraid to just take a second, practice the pause, and refocus.
I like that. I think it can also help you be not reactionary, right? Like you just take that moment and then you can take an appropriate action as opposed to reacting, which, shocker, plays right into this episode's theme. So for instance, perhaps you find yourself at a traffic stop. Nobody really wants to do that, right? Like whether you're driving, whether you're a passenger, and probably members of our law enforcement community wish that they didn't have to pull people over, right? Everyone should just be doing what they're doing. But so say for instance, you're at the side of a road, practice that pause, don't overreact, just take a moment, stay calm, and proceed.
Perfect, yes. And it also might give you an opportunity to put yourself in the other person's shoes.
Oh, I like that a lot. Yes.
So whether you're having a conversation or maybe you're getting pulled over at a traffic stop, take some time and think of the perspective that other person might have, and that could help you be more understanding and have better communication.
That's really good. That's a really good point.
Yes.
Because that leads to
this
episode's
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
What is this episode's wait what moment, Lisa? I know you got something good for us.
I do. It's good, but it's also like, ugh. Okay, so this episode's wait what moment. According to the Iowa Department of Transportation's data, the number of crashes in Iowa caused by drivers distracted by the use of their phone or another electronic device, like basically you're distracted, you're not paying attention, right? Maybe you're even just messing around with the radio, you're on your phone, whatever, has increased by 83% from 2001 to 2020. And that number, unfortunately, just continues to increase.
In 2001, there were 518 total crashes due to drivers being distracted by electronics in Iowa. In 2020, there were 947 crashes. The preliminary data for 2021 referenced in the Department of Transportation report is 1,084 crashes in Iowa caused by distracted drivers. The saddest of all is that the report shows that between 2001 and 2021, there were an estimated 102 total fatalities attributed to drivers distracted by electronic devices. Ugh,
No.
that's a
No.
sad
And
one.
it seems mostly avoidable. Pause. Don't look. Just focus.
Exactly.
I do feel like the Iowa legislature is taking steps to hopefully prevent some of those things. And that does tie right into our case study. As Haley mentioned earlier, we're doing a little bit different take this time. Previously, we have considered a Iowa Court of Appeals case. We did a deeper dive into an historical United States Supreme Court case. And this time we wanted to talk a little bit about a bill that was proposed in the Iowa Senate this year. It didn't pass, it was not enacted, but I feel like it still warrants some discussion, as once you kind of see something that's been proposed, it's, there's a high likelihood that it will resurface in the future. So the bill that we want to talk about is Senate File 547. That proposal specifically addressed the use of electronic devices while driving. The bill would have, had it been enacted, would have prohibited any use of an electronic device while driving. So in that proposed bill, Senate File 547, it defined an electronic device as a device that is powered by electricity, including by a battery, which is capable of composing, sending, receiving, or reading messages, and storing, retrieving, or displaying videos, movies, or images.
Yes, and the use of an electronic device, according to that bill, was defined but not limited to holding, viewing, or manipulating electronic devices while driving. Under the bill, the use of an electronic device would be a moving violation.
That's right. And additionally, the bill would have increased the scheduled fine for that violation from $45 to $100. And just to expound on that, a moving violation can be considered for purposes of an administrative suspension of a driver's license, and it could also go to establishing habitual offender status. Additionally, just for reference, according to the National Conference of State Legislatures, handheld cell phone use is currently banned in 25 states. So I think it just speaks to the fact that that's probably where things are trending in the future.
And so for our episode's takeaways, we're doing that a little bit different as well. We thought it would be helpful for you to know your rights at a traffic stop. First of all, what do you do when you're being pulled over? Again, we're not attorneys.
Not attorneys.
So we work with attorneys, and we conducted some research. According to the Waukee Community website, their tips for safe traffic stops are: pull over to the right side of the roadway and position your vehicle as far out of the lane of traffic as possible.
And that just makes sense, right? You don't want to be an impediment to other folks that are still driving. Keep yourself safe. Keep other drivers on the road safe. Additionally, they would recommend turn off your engine and any other devices. So turn off your radio, make it just a quiet environment. Roll down your driver's side window, and if you have those tinted windows that are dark, just go ahead and roll all windows down if that is the case for your vehicle. If it's dark out at night, pop on that inside your, what do you call it?
Interior lights?
Yeah, the dome
Yep.
light, like that dome
Yep.
light in your car, right? Remember when your dad would yell at you, like if you're driving at night and don't turn on the dome light? Do that though if you're pulled over. And go ahead and start your hazard flashers. Again, just to let other drivers know that you're off, you're not in the right of way of traffic, and you're not moving.
Yep. And it's very important to stay calm. Like our leadership development takeaway was practice the pause, try to take a deep breath. Make sure you ask your passengers that might be in the car with you or the vehicle with you to remain quiet and calm as well. As the officer approaches your vehicle, put your hands in plain view, preferably on the steering wheel, in plain sight. Stay seated inside the vehicle unless you're asked to get out, and make all movements slowly. The officer is going to be watching carefully to make sure you don't have a weapon and there's nothing being hidden inside your vehicle.
Again, back to our practice the pause and just putting yourself in someone else's shoes, right? So if you were someone that was approaching a vehicle that was pulled over on the side of the road, it's just a common courtesy. What would you want someone to do for you? Also, if you don't feel safe, You can ask for identification from the officer that is pulling you over if they're not in uniform, and especially if that vehicle is unmarked. Let's go ahead and make sure that that is in fact a member of law enforcement.
And then usually you will be asked for a valid driver's license and proof of registration and insurance. You do not have to be told why you were pulled over before you comply. So when you do move, say that you're going to move slowly, and then put your hands back on that wheel while the officer checks your license and vehicle status.
Yes, and just out of common courtesy, answer those questions politely and honestly. You can stay brief. You don't need to, go into a novel. Answer any questions asked. Remain calm, respectful. Let the officer know if you're carrying a weapon. Let them know that you have a permit to do that.
Follow the officer's directions concerning getting out of the vehicle. If there's suspicion of alcohol use, possession of illegal objects, or safety violations, do not resist a pat down is part of their recommendation.
Also, again, we're just reiterating, just remain polite. You'd want the same if you were in the other person's shoes. Don't argue. Now is not the time or the place on the side of the road. If you're given a ticket, so be it. That matter can be contested later in court. The citation that you receive at that moment may contain the date and the location of a court date, if that is appropriate. And if not, you can go ahead and call the police department once you're back home. That can be sorted out at a later time.
Yes, and finally, don't be surprised if another patrol vehicle appears. And remember, your interaction may be recorded for everyone's safety. So I think that wraps up what to do at a traffic stop. Now, what are our rights at a traffic stop?
Right, I feel like those were just hopefully common sense tips to keep everyone safe. Again, whether you're driving, whether you're a member of law enforcement, whether you're a passenger in the car. Thanks to the American Civil Liberties Union of Iowa, we do also have kind of an expanded know your rights at a traffic stop. So first and foremost, you do have the right to remain silent. You do not have to speak. However, if that is your choice, it is recommended that you make sure the officer is aware that you are exercising that right. Right, so let them know I'm going to exercise my right to remain silent. I think that will just help everyone know kind of what's going on. You also have the right to not give permission to have yourself, your car, or separate issue, your home, but you have that right to not grant that permission, okay? That's not a given.
Yes, and if you are not under arrest, you do have the right to ask if you are free to leave and then calmly leave the traffic stop. If you are arrested, you do have the right to ask for a lawyer, and make sure that you ask for one as soon as you're arrested.
Yeah. Additionally, know that you have the right not to be racially profiled by the police, meaning that police cannot use your ethnicity as the reason to think you did something against the law. You also have the right not to say anything about your immigration status.
You, the people you are with, and bystanders do have the right to observe and record police on duty in public if they do not interfere with their activities. So if you're truly interfering with the law enforcement activity, police may legally order you to stop photographing or recording, but as long as you're not interfering with their duty and their activities, then you do have the right to record or take photographs.
Again, this information is not intended as legal advice per se. It has been gained by the ACLU of Iowa and information that they have available to them.
Remember to practice the pause, even in the car. Make sure you put down your phone or electronics, or maybe you get a call or a text, just pull over, send that text, have that phone call, and then get safely back on the road.
Absolutely. So I think we're almost through. We've missed you. We're glad to be back. We hope to see you again soon. We are just striving to provide you with a lighthearted yet legit take on the law. For a more serious take, we would encourage you to check out the Iowa Lawyer magazine, both in the mail if you're an ISBA member, or did you also have the Iowa Lawyer weekly e-newsletter that comes right to your inbox on Wednesdays, again, if you're a member. And if not, it is available digitally on our website.
That's right. You can just check out iowabar.org, simple as that. And a quick reminder, please submit your ideas for future topics, or If there's somebody that you would like to see on the Join Us at the Bar
yeah.
podcast in the future, we are open to your suggestions. We welcome your feedback. Just send us a note at communications@iowabar.org. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button. All right, because starting with this episode, only subscribers will get access to our outtakes reels. So,
All right, I think we're bringing it home. I think we made it.
yes.
So I would just like to say thank you for joining us at the bar.
We're here for you.
Today's episode was produced, written, and hosted by Lisa Hanson and Haley Bowman. We would like to give a special thanks and shout out to MVM Consulting and all of those who have consulted, engaged, and subscribed.